20 years ago, on December 26, 2004, a devastating earthquake off the coast of Indonesia triggered a tsunami that swept across the Indian Ocean, claiming over countless lives. India was one of the worst affected countries. Today, after 20 years, we reflect on the tragedy and explore how the nation has since fortified itself against such calamities.
Two decades ago, on December 26, 2004, a powerful 9.1 magnitude earthquake struck near Indonesia, causing a deadly tsunami.
The 2004 tsunami left India grappling with unprecedented destruction. From Tamil Nadu to the Andaman and Nicobar Island, communities were devastated. Entire harbors and roads vanished and over 6.5 lakh people were displaced. But amidst all the chaos, the resilience and unity of the Indian people shone through.
A peaceful Sunday morning draws over the Indian Ocean. Families gather to enjoy a holiday after Christmas. Fishermen set out to sea, and coastal villagers go about their routines, unaware of the catastrophe about to unfold. By mid-morning, chaos erupted. A wall of water, unimaginably vast, surged toward the shores, leaving devastation in its wake. The Indian Ocean tsunami became one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history. The tsunami was triggered by a 9.1 magnitude earthquake, the third largest ever recorded, off the western coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. The rupture of a 1200-kilometer fault line between the India plate and the Burma microplate unleashed waves over 30 meters high, traveling at speeds exceeding 800 kilometers per hour. Within hours, the waves swept across 14 countries. Indonesia bore the brunt of the disaster, with over 167,000 lives lost. Sri Lanka mourned more than 35,000. India recorded over 16,000 fatalities, while Thailand, Somalia and other nations faced similar devastation. The sea, once a source of sustenance and protection, became a force of unimaginable destruction. The tsunami's impact was not only human, but economic and environmental. Entire fishing villages were wiped out, livelihoods destroyed, and agricultural land rendered unfit for cultivation. In Indonesia, 20% of farmland was permanently damaged by saltwater intrusion. Across the region, mangrove forests and coral reefs were devastated, stripping coastlines of their natural defenses.
As disaster struck, Doordarshan and All India Radio became lifelines. With most communication channels down, All India Radio provided crucial updates and rescue information to affected areas, underscoring the critical role of public broadcasting during emergencies.
India's public broadcaster Doordarshan was quick to respond during the 2004 tsunami.
These are the massive concrete walls of the Kalpakkam power plant which fell down. This is the boundary wall of the Kalpakkam plant, and as you can see, they have fallen down because of the sheer impact of the wave which hit 3 days back.
Indian Navy was not only helping its own countrymen but also thousands of those who needed medical help in Indonesia.
When I visited Indira Point around this time of the year, 11 years ago, there was much of golden sand and some greenery surrounded by the sea. Now, the southernmost tip of India is partially submerged.
As information dissemination was crucial, they played a vital role in covering rescue efforts directly from the disaster zone. All India Radio excelled in delivering critical information throughout the calamity, proving its indispensable value in times of crisis.
Rebuilding after the 2004 tsunami was a monumental task. Relief camps housed over 6 lakh people and special flights evacuated stranded citizens. The government provided food, water and medical care while also rebuilding infrastructures like roads, schools and hospitals.
The Indian Ocean tsunami was a global wake-up call. At the time, there was no comprehensive tsunami warning system in the Indian Ocean. Coastal communities were unprepared and the risk was underestimated. But the tragedy galvanized the world into action under the auspices of UNESCO, Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission.
Before 2004 tsunami, there has not been any warning system, tsunami early warning system in the Indian Ocean region. The awareness was very less of the public awareness, there was no warning system. But after this tragic event, which took about 230,000 lives and then impacted so many countries within the region, so the UN gave the mandate, provided the mandate to UNESCO's IOC to establish a end-to-end tsunami early warning and mitigation system in the Indian Ocean region. So that was when the ICG, it's called the Intergovernmental Coordination Group for the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System, that was established to actually coordinate with all the countries in the region, all the stakeholders within the region and outside the region to work together and then provide a framework for collaboration to establish this end-to-end warning and mitigation system.
One of the greatest lessons from the 2004 tsunami was the urgent need for early warning system. In 2007, India established the Indian Tsunami Early Warning System, which now operates 24/7, ensuring no wave goes undetected. Real-time alerts can now be issued within minutes of seismic activity. Today, India employs cutting-edge technology including seismic stations, tidal gauges, and bottom pressure recorders. These tools work in union to detect underwater earthquakes and monitor sea levels, offering critical data to prevent loss of life.
Today, advancement in technology have transformed our ability to detect and respond to tsunamis.
The role of INCOIS in after 2004 tsunami is establishing a state-of-the-art tsunami early warning center and preparing a tsunami-ready community for India and Indian Ocean countries. Pre-2004, there was no observation systems to monitor real-time tsunamis. It means that we should have a real-time observation systems to detect the seismic activities. Then you should have the tsunami, especially the tsunami wave observation systems.
The deep ocean assessment and reporting of tsunamis buyers monitor sea pressure changes in real time, while over 1400 sea level monitoring stations provide constant data. This network allows tsunami warnings to be issued within minutes of detection.
We established the tsunami buoys in the two subduction zones, Sunda as well as the Makran subduction zones. That given as kind of a leverage that all the data will be at INCOIS. We made a modeling system using the tsunami N2 model, and we made a lot of scenarios, probabilistic tsunami scenarios. So based upon the real-time the observations and the scenario database what created, we established the tsunami early warning center, and it became operational at 2007. IOC recognized us in India as one of the three tsunami service providers for the Indian Ocean, and we are providing the 26 countries the tsunami early warning services on a daily, event by event basis actually. And in addition to that, we also made like that to sustain the tsunami the system. We require a lot of things like the daily frequent communication test, and we require the mock exercises. All these things we'll do with the in collaboration with the concerned institutes as well as the national disaster management authorities and state disaster management authorities.
INCAIS has established an end-to-end data management system, right from acquisition of this data from in-situ observing systems in real time, data processing, quality control, and pushing this data for generation of ocean information and advisory services. So the observation network which we implemented in the Indian Ocean, we receive the state of various physical, biogeochemical parameters of the ocean in real time, which will be fed into the ocean models to generate ocean information and advisory services. So as part of tsunami early warning system, which was set up after the 2004 tsunami, so INCAIS has established a network of 36 tide gauges all along the Indian coast. And also we have set up 7 tsunami buoys, 5 tsunami buoys, which has a bottom pressure recorder which continuously monitors the sea level, and in case of any earthquake that has a potential to generate the tsunami, these BPRs will confirm about the generation of the tsunami. So we also have a special network of strong motion accelerometers and GNSS stations in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, because Andaman and Nicobar Islands are very near to the Sunda subduction zone, and the time that is available for Andaman is very, very less. So we need to have a very dedicated network of observing system at Andaman and Nicobar Islands. That's why we have established the strong motion accelerometers and GNSS stations in Andaman.
Disaster management is not just about technology, it is about people. Communities along India's coastline now have evacuation plans and designated safe zones. Public awareness campaigns and the UNESCO Tsunami Ready Recognition Program have strengthened the grassroots preparedness in the coastline areas.
Technology alone cannot prevent loss of life. Educating communities to recognize the warning signs of a tsunami, earthquakes, receding waters, and the roar of the sea has been just as critical.
India is not working alone. As one of the 3 regional tsunami service providers under UNESCO, it shares real-time alerts with 24 Indian Ocean nations. This international cooperation ensures a collective defense against future tsunamis.
India has been at the forefront of these efforts. Today, 26 Indian villages in Odisha meet UNESCO's stringent preparedness criteria, which include evacuation plans, community drills, and public awareness campaigns.
Certainly, I can say from tsunami point of view, Odisha is a very leading state. Whereas disaster management plan we have already prepared, and so far as Kendrapara district is concerned, we have identified 4 villages to be tsunami prone village, and all the parameters we have maintained, and also awareness has already been maintained. All community has also been developed, sensitized. They are also in a fine physically and mentally strong, and also they are capable to facing any challenges occur out of the tsunamis.
Odisha became a leader after 1990 super cyclone in disaster management and disaster response. At national level and in international level also, we have the motto of zero casualty, and we always worked for that. The whole administration, the whole political system, and the communities. It is the community interactions, and they map their capacities, what is available with them, and what are the vulnerable points, and the vulnerable families, communities, the vulnerability and capacity assessment and analysis. So from that, they know that they have, in case of a cyclone, they have a cyclone shelter and RCC roofs and buildings. But in case of a tsunami, they have a separate plan for tsunami evacuation. So for tsunami management plan, they have their own evacuation plan, because they can't do more in case of a tsunami. 100% evacuation is mandatory.
बहुत मदद करती हूँ, क्योंकि हमारी समुद्र हमारे पास है. हमको बहुत डर लगता है. जो जापान में सुनामी होता है, हमें सड़क को सुना था. तो हमको सजग रहना चाहिए। हमारे गांव लोग को भी समझ लेना चाहिए कि हमसे रेस्क्यू बहुत सीख रहा हूँ। और जी समझे तो बहुत जाता है कि ऐसे ऐसे करना कि समझो रेस्क्यू कैसे करना, वो जो हैंडीकैप्टर लोग है उसे कैसे जो उनके घर से कैसे उनको सुरक्षित स्थान पे लेके जाएंगे और उनको बहुत सजग जो हम सबको बहुत सतर्क या सजग दे रहे हैं।
We are planned for the training at a different level, like from village level to up to district level. We have planned to train the volunteers and the master trainers, and also we are trained series of we have organized series of training in school level at school and village level and GP level, then block level. And a series of program we have conducted to create a strong awareness among the community regarding tsunami.
UNESCO's Tsunami Ready Recognition Program aims to extend these efforts worldwide. By 2030, the goal is for all at-risk communities to achieve this recognition, ensuring they are prepared to respond effectively to future events.
So that was the role of UNESCO in establishing the regional system, the ICG IOTWMS, which was quickly followed by establishment by UNESCO of the other regional systems. It's called ICG PTWS, which is in the Pacific, ICG NEAM TWS, that is in the Northeast Atlantic and Mediterranean, and ICG CARIB-WS, that's in the Caribbean. Now, all these systems, which are functional right now, work as a global system of systems to provide early warnings to all countries which are vulnerable to a tsunami threat. So, there are about this system within the Indian Ocean region, say for example, it has a network of 3 tsunami service providers. One is in Kois, where you are right now, stationed right now. And then there is another center in Australia of the Bureau of Meteorology. And there is another center in Indonesia of the BMKG. All of these 3 centers work in tandem to provide tsunami forecast information to 26 countries within the Indian Ocean rim. And then the system itself has 3 pillars. The first pillar is tsunami hazard and risk assessment. The second pillar is tsunami detection, warning and dissemination. The third pillar is awareness and response. The idea is to actually know where the threat and risk of tsunamis is within the Indian Ocean region. Then have sensors like seismic sensors, sea level sensors, tsunami buoys, tide gauges and modeling capabilities, and dissemination systems, communication systems and dissemination systems to be able to detect tsunamis and then provide the information to the public. And the third pillar, which I mentioned, is tsunami awareness and response. Once the information reaches the public, how do they understand this information? How do they respond to this information and act on this information so that their lives can be shared? Safe.
Despite progress, the challenges remain immense. Over 700 million people live in tsunami-prone areas today, a number projected to reach 1 billion by 2050. Short-fused tsunamis triggered by earthquakes near shorelines leave little time for warning systems to respond. While technology has improved, providing accurate and rapid warnings remain a technical and logistical challenge. Supercomputers now enable faster modeling, but the race against time is constant. The United Nations Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development has placed tsunami preparedness at the forefront. With initiatives like the Safe Ocean Program, the focus is on enhancing prediction, preparedness, and global safety measures.
INCA is continuously monitors the seismic activity all over the globe, where we have our own stations of 17 established by National Center for Seismology, as well as some research institutes. And in addition to our own national network, we also get seismic data from about 350 plus stations. So, where we continuously monitor this data from seismic stations, and if there is an earthquake in the Indian Ocean or in the other oceans like Pacific or Atlantic, so we are able to detect this seismic activity through the seismic stations, within 5 to 10 minutes time.
This network allows tsunami warning to be issued to vulnerable coastlines within minutes of detection by state-of-the-art warning centers such as Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services that acts as a tsunami service provider under the UNESCO framework.
This is a tsunami bulletins. As soon as the earthquake happens, so within the 10 minutes of happening of the earthquake, inquest will automatically display the first bulletin of the tsunami. Based on the only earthquake parameters, it will give the tsunami bulletins. Once the water level, sea level changes data is available from the observation platforms, then we continue to give the next bulletins. So the second, if you come to the tsunami bulletin number 2, in addition to the qualitative information that we have given in the tsunami bulletin 1, the quantitative information is also added to the tsunami bulletin. Like you can see here what is the impact of this tsunami happens. Like if you see the directivity maps, this directivity map shows the impact of the tsunami is in which direction is maximum and how they move. In addition to that, we also give it the travel time maps that tells that from the epicenters how much time it takes to reach the Andaman Nicobar Islands or mainland. All those travel times are given. So this is how bulletins will be given to the public.
The seismometers are like we detect the ground motion in continuous way. So when we have this earthquake, they detect within some 3 to 5 minutes, and then we immediately have earthquake detection here at the early warning center. But the problem with this is though we could detect the earthquakes, in which way the plate has moved is the most important thing to know whether the tsunami has been generated or not. So if you see here, these are the 3 types of boundaries we call. The plate moves in 3 different directions. If you see here, one is the plate moves in this direction, which is we call the transform boundary, and the other one is the subduction zone, the convergent boundary. So most important thing what we have to know is in this subduction zone when the plate moves, so in whether it has broken, whether the total water column has been displaced. That is what's the most important thing to know. So for that, with this technology, global navigation satellite system, that is actually measuring in which way the ground is moving, whether it is moving in this direction, in which direction, at what faster way, what is the velocity of that plate it is moving. So with this technology, we will be able to know within like a few minutes whether the earth has moved in up or down, or it is in a transform way. So we will be able to know whether it has generated a tsunami or not within like few seconds to few minutes, which is most important for us to know in the early warning system.
Preparation has become a way of life. Since 2009, India has participated in international tsunami simulation drills. In the most recent exercise, 1.25 lakh people were evacuated across the 9 coastal states and territories, a clear indicator of the improved preparedness of Indian people to face tsunami.
Efforts are also underway to restore natural defenses like mangroves and coral reefs, which play a critical role in mitigating tsunami impacts. The goal is not just to survive the next tsunami, but to thrive in the face of adversity.
The scars of 2004 tsunami remains, but so do the lessons. With robust early warning system, community-driven plans and international partnership, India stands stronger and better equipped to face the forces of nature. The goal is clear: a safer tomorrow for all.
Today, as we look back, we must also look forward to a world where every coastline is prepared, every community is ready, and every life is valued.
From a nation caught off guard in 2004 to a global leader in tsunami preparedness today, India has come a long way. The establishment of the National Disaster Management Authority symbolizes India's commitment to safeguarding its people against future calamities.